to another post-trip episode of Where I Long to Be, a magical trip report podcast. I am your host, Virginia. Today, Katie is back to share all the details of her recent trip to Tokyo. She was traveling with her husband, Adam, and her brother-in-law, Ryan. The main focus of this trip was to attend the worldwide convention called Star Wars Celebration. I've linked to the convention in the show notes in case you're interested in attending. The next one will be in 2027 in Los Angeles. While they were there, it only made sense to visit some of the sites in Tokyo, Kyoto, Osaka, as well as doing some park days at Universal Studios Japan, Tokyo Disneyland, and Tokyo Disney Sea. Katie's Instagram is also linked in the show notes, so please give her a follow. And there you can see more pictures from her trip. Her handle is Love for All Disney Magic. That is all the information you need to enjoy this episode, so please join me in welcoming back Katie. Welcome back, Katie.
Thank you for having me back.
I am so excited to hear about this trip because we just had a major holiday in the Star Wars world yesterday.
We sure have. May the 4th be with you.
I was thinking about that as I was looking over my notes to get prepared to talk to you again. I was like, oh, too bad your very heavily Star Wars themed trip was not over May the 4th, but...
Well, we did have a trip to California for May the 4th and Star Wars Celebration Days last year, so can't do it every year. So we thought we'll do the Star Wars Celebration in Japan this year.
Yes.
Do something different.
Right. Yeah. Yep. I will take it. any excuse to try to get to Tokyo.
Exactly, right?
All right, let's kick it off with your flight. So you left on Wednesday, April 16th at 1 p.m. Was your flight on time?
Our flight was on time, which was great. We didn't mind that. The sooner we could get to Tokyo, the better. Considering it was a 14-hour flight, you think, oh my God, it's such a long time. When people tell you, how are you going to do it? But it was actually quite pleasant. We booked a premium economy seats because, again, my husband's quite tall. My brother-in-law is quite tall. My husband's 6'2". And we thought we'd give them extra space. You get extra, obviously, you get 2 suitcases each when you travel premium economy. And we thought it's a great opportunity to be able to take less with us, buy stuff in Japan, and we can bring it back. So, so with the premium economy with British Airways, we had a welcome drink when we arrived. By the time they loaded everybody on the plane, we took off on time. It was quite a smooth flight, no bumps in the air, so it was quite great. We had, obviously, food throughout the flight, snacks, drinks, and watching the films, listening to some music. And before we knew it, we landed in Tokyo. And I think we landed about 10:30, 11 o'clock in the morning in Tokyo on Thursday the 17th. So I think, considering how long the flight was, it actually didn't feel that it was so long because you could get up and stretch your legs and have a drink. And it was actually quite right. Obviously, me and my husband have done 11-hour flight or so to California from London. For my brother-in-law Ryan, it was a first long-haul flight, so hence why one of the other reasons we booked a premium economy. But no, he was absolutely fine. I was like, we were keeping an eye on him, just checking. Managed to have a little nap just to keep, some energy for when we land. But I think it was all right. We all managed to survive the 14-hour flight. So, and as Ryan said to me, if I can do a 14-hour flight, I can go to California. I was like, oh, okay. So he's planning his next trip already.
Good.
Yeah.
All right. So you landed in the morning. You said you took a nap. So the excitement of landing must have been just a huge dopamine high, I guess I'm going to say, of
Absolutely.
the possibilities of everything that was right in front of you. How was it getting over to the hotel? You said you were probably going to take their version of the subway or metro or whatever they call it there.
Yeah, so we actually didn't take the metro. So we landed over 6:08 about 11. The luggage didn't take long, so we got the bags. So what we had to do, we had to pick up our Wi-Fi for the trip in Japan. We opted for the portable Wi-Fi because then that way we could all connect to it. Everybody who would get in contact with us wouldn't generally ring. They could WhatsApp us, so that will keep us in contact with family. We can use the maps and anything we needed our phones for. because if we'd go for an eSIM option, we would each have to pay, which would
Right.
which added up a bit more. I think we paid for 11 days trip. We paid about £19 each, which was quite cheap comparing to if we would
Oh,
have
yeah.
used our own network in
Mhm.
Japan. It They charge £7 per day, so we
Mhm.
actually had a good, quite a good deal here. So we had to pick that up, and we either wanted to take the metro or the taxi, whichever option was working but better for us. So by the time we got the Wi-Fi, which didn't take long, we knew there was a shuttle bus that also went from the airport to Tokyo,
Mhm.
and we asked the question, how long does it take, how much is going to be, and they said it's about 40 minutes ride, and it's only £6 per person. So we're like, if we'd get the metro with two big bags each going up and down
Mhm.
the stairs, we didn't think that was the best idea. So we opted for the shuttle. We picked
Mhm.
up a ticket at the airport. It was very easy way to find your way out to the bus stop. You
Mhm.
load your bags in, and the shuttle stopped at every, because we landed at Haneda Terminal 3, it stopped Terminal 2, Terminal 1, and then it was direct route from there to Tokyo main train station,
Mhm.
and it was about 5 minute walk for us from there to the hotel, which was quite convenient. So that's why we
Mhm.
thought, instead of going up and down the stairs with a bag, it's just a straight walk to the hotel. So we chose to do it. And again, the price of it was actually not bad,
Mhm.
which quite worked out quite cheap as well. So yeah, we
Mhm.
found that option very easy, very, if people are going into Tokyo, I think that's quite a nice and easy journey without any hassle. You can sit down, they take you
Yeah.
where you need to go. We found it quite easy. So I think
Good.
we've also felt using the subway or the metro on the first day, being jet lagged and tired, may not have been the best idea. So we decided for somebody to do the hard work for us.
Sure, sure.
Yeah.
And everything at the airport was translated into English, correct?
Yes, so they had signs in both Japanese and English. We picked up obviously the Wi-Fi, we got the tickets. We also picked up our 7-day railway pass, which allowed us travel on the bullet trains, which we have pre-booked prior to
Mhm.
a trip to Japan. And yeah, so all their signs were in English and Japanese. However, if you do need any assistance, they had information points. So I wasn't sure where to go for the Wi-Fi pickup, and they
Mhm.
were quite friendly and very helpful to direct me where I had to go. So I think the whole airport system was works quite well in Japan. There's no, yeah, if you can't find it, there's somebody there, but it's quite straightforward as well.
Okay. Now let's talk about your hotel. So you said you were staying at the Sotetsu Frasa.
Yes.
I hope I'm pronouncing it
Yes.
correctly.
Well, I don't know how it's correct either, so I say as I read it. So you and me both.
Okay. So I did get a little peek of it on their
hmm
website,
hmm
but what were your initial impressions and how are the accommodations for a party of 3 like yourselves?
So in terms of the location, because we where we stayed, the Tokyo train station, as I said, was about 5 minute walk from the hotel, and that's what we needed because we were traveling from Tokyo to Star Wars Celebration, so we had to get the train from Tokyo.
Mhm.
We then went to Universal Studios by the bullet train, again from the Tokyo train station, and the trip to Kyoto Osaka again was planned from Tokyo train station by the bullet train. So all the trips we were doing was happening from the Tokyo station, which is where we opted for the hotel. The hotel location was great. It was clean. It was like staff were friendly. The only the only thing was for us, we had two rooms. My brother-in-law Ryan had room for himself, and me and my husband had a room for the two of us. The
Mhm.
rooms were a bit small for me. We
Mhm.
did not realize when we booked it. I understand this probably was on our behalf that we didn't think that they were going to be that small. It was a little bit small for us because my husband's a bit tall.
Mhm.
We found it a little bit strange because we've never been like in such a small room. However,
Mhm.
Tokyo is a little bit overcrowded, and we understand. And people did tell us beforehand that some of their hotel rooms are a little bit smaller than usual, purely because of the
Mhm.
location, and they don't have the space. and the only thing for and the staff again, I went to ask if they could move us to a bigger room, which we were happy to pay for a bit extra for. Unfortunately, because it was peak season, they were like, "Look, this is what we have." They said we can find another hotel and they will cancel this room and reimburse us. So we had an option to leave if we wanted to. They said
Mhm.
they offered us a separate room, the same size, just for the luggage, which was great. But I didn't particularly want to be going up and down the hotel with the bags
Right.
going full. So I think the first night was a bit of a shock to the system because we weren't used to it.
Mhm.
However, after a couple of days, we got used to it. We managed to. We all we did was just took stuff out that we were using, and then the rest was staying in the suitcases. We were only there for the night, so it kind of wasn't really a big deal. It just was a bit of a surprise when we turned up. I don't know if
Right.
you understand square meters, but it's 13 square meters. My office is bigger than the room we had, so we
Wow.
were like, wow. Yeah. So,
Whoa.
but again, the hotel was lovely. The people were friendly.
Mhm.
They had pajamas. If you didn't bring, you could use theirs. They were giving people option. There's a restaurant downstairs. They had you could do breakfast, dinner, and if you stay in
Mhm.
a hotel, they give you discount as well.
Mhm.
They had like laundry service. They had vending machines on site. They had tea and coffee in the reception. So, as the hotels go, they will find. Like I can't
Mhm.
complain about the hotel. Like I said, it probably was a bit of a confusion on our behalf because we just didn't think it was going to be
Mhm.
that small. We just didn't think. And but again,
Sure.
it was lovely. Like I said, for one person, for Ryan, his room, like he was on his own. It was fantastic. It didn't feel probably as small for him as it did for us, purely
Mhm.
because we had all the luggage and there's two of us. But it was clean. Like I said, they did the room service cleaning every couple of days. If you needed anything, like we asked for an extra pillow, they brought it straight away. If you, like anything like that, they were
Mhm.
very good and very friendly. The check-in was quite straightforward, no
Mhm.
issues. Like I said, because we booked it through travel agent, sometimes hotels need further information. They just need passports. We came in, checked in, left our bags because again the check-in we couldn't use the room until I think 3 o'clock they said. So we
Mhm.
left the bags, checked in, left the bags, and then went off. So, but no, I think as a whole the
Mhm.
location was fantastic. It was, like I said, walking distance to the station. We had the 7-Eleven around the corner, lots of little restaurants and cafes around, like if you wanted food or whatsoever. So I would recommend the hotel. The only thing I would say, if people want looking for a standard size room, just be mindful when book because we went for the standard one and it wasn't just what we thought it was going to be. But
Okay.
I would recommend it because, like I said, we didn't have any problems with
Mhm.
anything throughout the stay. So it
Did
wasn't, like
you
I said, yeah.
did you have connecting rooms?
So they weren't connecting rooms, but they were next door to one another.
Oh,
So
okay.
we have when we booked it, we have requested if we could have either next door or like a room, one room apart, as close
Mhm.
as possible together. So then we didn't have to go too far. So Ryan
Sure.
didn't feel like he was on his own kind of thing. But yeah,
Right.
they. I don't think they have connecting rooms because I've looked when I looked after on their website. They have like a bigger room. Like if there's a family, you can book a bigger room or
Mhm.
bigger room with like two bigger beds. So you even if you want a bigger room, but there's just the two of you. But I
Mhm.
didn't see they had any connecting rooms, but they are like quite close by, so you can request it, which is what we did. And yeah, they were happy to accommodate that as well, which was
Mhm.
nice.
Okay. What did you do with the rest of that first day while you were trying to stay awake as long as possible?
We were very positive, thinking we're going to be able to do more than we thought we were going to do. But so what we did on the first day, so we arrived to the hotel, checked in, left the bags, and on the same day we went to the exhibition center where the Star Wars celebration was happening the following day because
Mhm.
we had to go pick up our tickets purely because they said you could pick them up on the day, but obviously, as you can imagine, there's a lot going on and the queues may be quite long. So they say if you can pick them up before, they would
Mhm.
recommend it. So our railway pass that we have picked up from the airport allowed us to travel for free to the exhibition centre. So
Mhm.
we used our opportunity to go get the tickets. So then we had them for Friday and for Sunday.
Mhm.
And what we did then when we came back, we just well, the Tokyo train station has got a lot of shopping, a lot of food options. It's not just a railway station, so we walk around there, found some little shops. They had like Lego store, they had little Miniso store, lots of like ramen restaurants, etc. So if people wanted like food options, there's loads of little bars. So we walked around, managed to get some sandwich just because we were a bit full up from the flight, just wanted a little snack before we went to bed. So picked
Mm-hmm.
up some food. We also picked up some food to take with us for the Star Wars celebration because on their map it didn't look like they had a lot of food options, like not many food carts. So we picked up some lunch to take with us the following day, and then we just went and had an early night because I think because we had to get up early the following day, we wanted to
Right.
just have a good night rest, sleep, so then we're ready
Mm-hmm.
for the full on day with
And I'm
like
sure you
to
were
attend the
exhausted.
event. Yeah, just a bit.
All right. Well, tell me all about this Star Wars celebration. So, Friday, April 18th, you headed over there to spend the day.
Yes.
What did you see there?
It was a really busy day. We have done Star Wars Celebration in London, so obviously we have done one of those events before, and we knew they was going to be busy. There was a lot of queues, and I think because you had people that live locally, plus
Mm-hmm.
obviously people traveling, it was very very busy. Like there were queues
Mm-hmm.
everywhere. At one point, I did get a little bit overwhelmed because it was just so unusually busy for me. Like a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people in the same place because, yeah, even though it's a big exhibition center, there was a lot going on. So we managed to get some Star Wars Celebration exclusive merchandise. So I got like a T-shirt, lanyards. My husband managed to get like some sweatshirts, hoodies, because every Star Wars celebration has its own special logo for that particular location. And this
Mm-hmm.
one they did a Darth Vader with a like a lightsaber, but like a samurai style, which was really really
Oh,
awesome. And
okay.
I was like, I wanted to have something with it on because it's just so unique to Japan.
Mm-hmm.
So the Star Wars Celebration T-shirt I picked up had that print on it, and it had Star Wars Celebration in Japanese on it, which was just something
Mm-hmm.
like I thought, you know what, it's just a little something to take back. So we managed to get some of that. We did see Hayden Christensen on the main stage, so you didn't. So to see the panels and certain actors, you'd had to book reservations prior to the event.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, because there was a lot of people, those reservations were gone in 2 minutes. So we did manage to
Mm-hmm.
get a lot. So you just had to go on the day, get in the queues and try and get obviously into the panels. Because
Mm-hmm.
there was a lot of people, I didn't want to end up queuing and then not getting in. So a lot of the people that did the panels then also went to the main stage where you didn't have to have a reservation, and they were just on the main stage with the house so you could see them, which was
Mm-hmm.
quite great. So we managed to see Hayden Christensen, and it was his birthday on Friday. So then we sang him happy birthday. It was just so
Oh,
special, so
fun.
cute. He's just, yeah, he got so overwhelmed, and which was nice to see that he was, he got the love on the day. Um, I'm a huge fan of Pedro Pascal. Obviously, they did the Mandalorian panel, which I missed out on. And when he came on stage, I actually ran to see him. I was like, I don't care. I'm going to see him. I know he won't see me, but I'm going. So it was great. It was also nice to see that Ryan Gosling is now joining the Star Wars family. So people were a bit
Mm.
like, oh, yeah, Ryan, fantastic. And there was obviously a lot of people like from the cartoons Star Wars films. So you
Mm-hmm.
had the guy that voiced Darth Maul, and they've obviously announced the Darth Maul series coming out. So it was nice just to see people on stage, because they're in their element. They're talking about the films. They're talking about how it all started,
Mm-hmm.
and obviously they talked about, yeah, Hayden Christensen being a part of the new Ahsoka series. So we did get to see obviously people on the stage. As I said, because there was a lot of people, there was a lot of queuing for the shops. So there was a store called Hot Toys, which they released limited run of the Star Wars figures just for Japan. So they had a Darth Vader figure, the Anakin Skywalker figure, and exclusives for Star Wars Celebration Japan. They did a stormtrooper with blossom flowers on it, which was great. So people could get
Oh,
something exclusive for just Japan
yeah.
if they wanted to. So we're cute for that because they did these figures, and they also did all the little like bag chains of Ewoks and little
Mm-hmm.
models of I can't even remember what they're called now. Cosbys. So they're like little models.
Mm-hmm.
So of different characters. So we picked some of those. So yeah. So we got to this to do the stores, and then there's a lot of people that were doing like limited edition merch just for Star Wars. They also did a lot of prints and artwork just for Star Wars Celebration you could buy. So it's just nice to see what people created for the
Mm-hmm.
event. But I think what was the most interesting thing for me, which I haven't done in London, what people were doing, they were making their own badges or stickers for the Star Wars Celebration Japan 2025, and
Mm-hmm.
they were exchanging it. So I came back with a bag full of stuff because I had some stickers I was giving to people, and I had a load of cool like Star Wars Celebration with, again, with either Blossom or the samurais on it, or
Mm-hmm.
that people got so creative. It was fantastic to see. So it was just nice to see people coming together, obviously for the love of Star Wars, but also people getting creative for it.
Mm-hmm.
And some people were, like I said, they were giving free stickers, free badges, free pins, or free little art prints. It was just great
Mm-hmm.
to see what, yeah, people just did it because they wanted to. They didn't do it for money or what. It was just great to see the fans doing all
Right.
this cool stuff for the event. So yeah, it was just,
A sense of community.
yeah, absolutely
Aw.
fantastic.
Did
Yeah.
did you wear anything special for this exhibition? Because I know that when I've been to things like Comic-Con, people
Hmm.
go crazy with their outfits, and I'm
Yes.
sure that you probably saw some amazing things too.
We did see a lot of great cosplays, people dressed up. There was people dressed as Palpatine, stormtroopers. I did end up wearing a cosplay, so I don't often go all out. I tend to wear more like Star Wars merch, like clothes, t-shirts, etc. But I was
Mhm.
like, well, we're traveling 14 hours. It's a big event. So this time I decided to dress up, and I went for the Ahsoka TV series version of Sabine Wren. So Sabine Wren is the Rebels character, and they all came from the cartoons. And I
Okay.
absolutely fell in love with the Rebels. And then when she appeared in Ahsoka season 1, I was like, I had to do it. So
Mhm.
I went all out. I had the hair, so I went for the purple wig. I bought a jacket, and I ordered from Etsy her badges. So
Mhm.
I ironed them on. They came all the way from California because in UK you couldn't buy the badges. So they came all the way from California. So I got the badges for it. I've got like a top that she wore in the film, a pair of like a
Mhm.
cargo trousers. And when I met my friend at Star Wars Celebration, she actually didn't recognize me because obviously I am blonde. And then she's like, "Oh my god, I was looking at the outfit, I didn't even recognize you." But yeah, so I went all out. I did the hair, I did the outfit, and then my friend that I met out there, she went as Ahsoka from Ahsoka series. So we agreed to do it on Friday so we could take some cool pictures together, and it was just
Mhm.
fantastic. You know, the
Oh,
two friends reuniting the galaxy far away. That was just, yeah, it was just awesome. So yeah, I'm glad I
very
did it,
cool.
and people knew who I was, and because they saw my outfit, I
Mhm.
was gifted a lot of the stickers or the badges with either Sabine on it or the Lost
Oh,
Cat
fun.
or the Chopper droid because I had a Chopper backpack, and it
Mhm.
was just great. So I absolutely loved it. It was so great.
Aw, that's so fun. All right. What time did you stay at the exhibition until? Did you make your way back to your hotel for dinner, or were you there until the late hours?
So the exhibition finished at 6
Okay.
p.m. I think, I mean, so, to be honest, the first day was a bit of a blur. We finished about the end time because we wanted to make the most of it. Because again,
Mhm.
you travel all this way to experience it, so we've stayed pretty much till the end. We finished at the exhibition about 6,
Mhm.
and so what we did, as I said, we picked up some lunch prior to that because in the exhibition didn't look there was much food options for us. But outside, they had a lot of food vans, food trucks with various food options. So you could buy a burger, you can buy some barbecue chicken, some stir fry noodles, etc. So there was quite a bit of option. So there was food, there was alcoholic drinks, soft drinks, bubble tea, coffee, and they had some tables outside. So what people did, they just went out either during the day or the evening to have some food. So we finished the event about 6, and we decided to have food there because the travel back would have been busy because everybody would have been leaving, and if people were heading back
Right.
to Tokyo, the trains would have been a little
Right.
bit
Let
too
it calm
busy.
down a little
Yeah,
before
so
you
we let it
actually got
calm
on.
down. So we
Right.
decided to have some food. So we had some food from the truck, had some drinks, just sat down for a bit, and it wasn't cold. The weather was quite nice. It was just right, and
Mhm.
we just sat out there enjoying ourselves, just soaking it all in, thinking, "Oh my God, what has just happened? We've been here all day. It's just been fantastic." So yeah, just
Mhm.
talking about what happened throughout the day, making sure we haven't lost anything throughout the day with all the shopping bags we had. So, but yeah, so we just had a little bit of a chill moment, just
Mhm.
relax, and then had some food, and then yeah, got the train back, which was quite nice because, like I said, with our travel card, it's a just straight direct train from the event to Tokyo Station, which was quite easy, about half an hour on the
Mhm.
train, so it wasn't too bad of a journey either way. So yeah, so we just have it like
Okay.
a relaxing evening after.
All right. And then you had Saturday, April 19th, you had a day to kind of explore Tokyo in between your
Mhm.
first and your second day of the exhibition. So what did you end up seeing on that Saturday?
So what we wanted to do is because we wanted to see Mount Fuji.
Mhm.
However, traveling out for the day for the guided tour was a bit too much because it's a full on day and you only get to see one thing.
Mhm.
And we've done a bit of a research, and they did say that if you have a dry clear day, you can see it from the Tokyo Sky Tree because it's similar to the Eiffel Tower, like a viewing point. So we thought, well,
Mhm.
it was £12 per person. Let's book it. If the weather's good, because obviously you don't know when you book it how the day's going to go. And
Mhm.
then what we were going to do, we're going to do the Sky Tower and then do a bit of exploring. It was a clear, dry day, but it was so hot, it was smoggy, so you couldn't see far out. So we were unfortunately
Oh.
not able to see that, but you still had a nice view of Tokyo, so you could see go around, have like a 360-degree view of Tokyo, which was
Mhm.
fantastic as well. I mean, you hope for the best, but we still had nice time. We had nice views, so we did the Tokyo Sky Tree, and they also, again, they had nice little shopping area around. My husband loves Pokemon, so we found a Pokemon
Mhm.
center there, and he was just buying all the Japan exclusive Pokemon cards. He was in his element, so we
Oh
just left
gosh.
him to it. We just left him to it. That's fine. You just carry on. We'll just wait out here for a minute. That's fine. So yeah, he was loving it. So we did a bit of shopping around there, and not far from there, they had like a nice little temple, which we wanted to see, and we were like, well, it's a walking distance from where we were, so why don't we just go and see while we're here?
Mhm.
So we took a short walk from the Sky Tree, and we ended up going to the Meiji Shrine.
Mhm.
It's like a little temple. So we did, yeah. So we did a little walk from the Sky Tree there. It again, because all the shrine and temples in Japan get a little bit busy with tourists, with local people. We just didn't rush it. If there was too many people about, we just kind of minded our own business because again, we just wanted to see. We weren't worried if we didn't get to go in because it can get a bit busy, and it's just, yeah, it was just a bit. We're not too religious, so we weren't very concerned about having to go into the temples. I think it was
Mhm.
just about seeing them, learning the history, and it was nice to go to that place because I suppose maybe it was the weekend. You had all
Mhm.
the girls dressed in the traditional outfits with little flowers in their hairs, with the shoes
Mhm.
and the bag. It was just nice to see them walking around. But like, if I thought I was taking a lot of pictures, those girls, they were professionals. They were like out there posing for nice good pictures, because it's the outfits, the colors, and they had like
Uh-huh.
flowers in their hair, all the hairs, the makeup flawless. I was like, oh my god, like
Mhm.
they were going all out, and I think they were just having a nice day. And yes, so we did the temple and the shrine, and then while we were walking through little gardens around it, this local gentleman came up to us. He took us to a little side shrine, like a little one. He said, "This is how you pray." So he showed us how to pray. He said, "Just if you do this, this is what's going to happen. Then you're going to have some money. There's this temple. If you go and pray in that temple, you come home and you're gonna have wealth. If you're gonna go to this," he was telling us all about it. Then he showed us this. pond that had koi fish with like a bright blue and orange colours, which was very nice of him. He didn't have to come and tell us any of this. We were just walking around, but he was just very friendly and very nice to tell us all about it. So we had a little bit of a nice time there, and then we just walked around, and then we decided to go get some lunch because it was about lunchtime, and we were getting a little bit hungry, and we were recommended to go to this fluffy pancake place.
Hmm.
um, when I did the research before, it said they were going to open 8:30 in the morning, so I was like, fantastic, we'll do the pancakes, then we'll do the sky tree. Unfortunately, whether I did my research wrong or they changed their opening time, they actually open at 10. So would have missed the breakfast lot, or we couldn't
Hmm.
have gone to the Sky Tree. So we thought, let's do the Sky Tree first, and then we can see if the pancakes place has still got the pancakes, because they said because how busy they are and how popular, normally within a couple of hours they just sold out, because they
Mm.
don't, like, once they're sold, say they're sold. Well, so we'll take a chance and we can go and try it. And yet, unfortunately, by the time we got there, they were sold out for the day. So, but it's
Are
okay.
these like traditional style pancakes or
It
is it
is
something
it,
special?
it is the way they make them, because there's actually a restaurant in London that does it. Whatever they put on it, they you can do like a breakfast one with eggs and bacon, etc., or they can do the sweet ones. But it's how they make them. It's the texture of the pancake. So they are quite thick and very
Mm.
bouncy, very fluffy. So you like they do a stack of them, and then they
Hmm.
just put stuff on top or around it. It's how they
Got it.
make them. So it's what they put in the mix to
I
make
think
the
we have a place like
pancake.
that in New York City too, because I
Yeah,
just recently heard somebody talking about it and I
well,
was like,
we
oh,
have
that
got we
sounds good.
had one. Yeah, we will. It looks good, and everybody. I've seen a lot of Instagram stories and posts about it. My cousin lived in Japan for 2 years, so she said you have to try. But because it's a bit out of Tokyo, we thought we'll do it on the way when we do everything else around that area. As
Hmm.
much as I'd love to try pancakes, I wouldn't want to travel just for pancakes. There's so many other different food places that
Right.
you want to try. So we
Hmm.
thought, but yeah, unfortunately, by the time we got there, it was sold out. So we found this little food place. They're made like similar to like post sandwiches, like a soft bun with whatever different flavors and meats inside. It's basically a Japanese version of like a sandwich or burger. They did their own twists on it, and it was
Hmm.
a small shop. Didn't look like a chain or anything. We just ended up going in there, and to be honest, I was in heaven. I mean, the whole of trip, I was in heaven for food. No matter what I bought, no matter what I
Hmm.
paid, it was fantastic. It couldn't go wrong. Their flavors, their texture, everything
Hmm.
was fresh. So yeah, so the sandwiches were really, really good. And I think it as a whole in Japan for food, we haven't paid more than £10, £12 for food with alcoholic drink even included. It was such a great way, like, to try so many different things, because some
Hmm.
places you go and food is so expensive, you want to try and you think, my god, but I don't want to pay the money. We had all the fresh, stuff in there, like fish and like a lot of different seafood, meat, chicken, it was all
Hmm.
very fresh and very good. So yeah, so that sandwich shop was really nice. We just sat down because it had some nice tables outside and just people watching. And that's the only country I've been to. I've been to Amsterdam, which is very popular for cyclists. But Japan was the first country I went where they actually have seen parking for bicycles. I have
Oh,
never
okay.
seen parking for bicycles. And you could see there was actually a traffic warden. If the bike was parked at too long, they were coming and giving tickets. And I was like,
Oh, wow.
very, yeah, they're very strict. So, but I didn't realize how strict they were until we actually have
Hmm.
seen it. So yeah, so that was very, very strange experience on that day, to watch somebody to come and give a ticket for a
Hmm.
bike.
Yeah.
So,
Hmm.
but yeah, so we've done the Sky Tree in the morning. We had our reservation for 10 o'clock in the morning, because we thought if we do it in the morning, then we have the whole day. It's not too early, give us time to have a little lie in, get the
Right.
train. So then we did. So we have done the Sky Tree, the temple, and we just wandered around the shops there, had some lunch, and then we made our way to the area called Akihabara. So Akihabara is very famous and very well known in Japan for like a gadget area, so that you have a
Mm-hmm.
lot of shops that sell gadgets. They're also famous for the anime, and my husband Adam collects Gundam robots. So basically you buy a box and you build it yourself. You cut them the bits out and you stick them together, and it's very very popular in Japan. So we then made our way to Akihabara because we wanted to see what they have price wise.
Mm-hmm.
Because when we did research for the Gundam from London in Japan, some websites weren't allowing you to see the prices, so we just wanted to see what it's like because he wanted to buy some. He had an empty suitcase just for them, so he came prepared.
He was
And
ready.
he was ready, and yeah, it was quite. It's very like very different again. It's a different. A lot of the things in Japan is arcades, vending machines, all these little bubble machines with little toys they sell. It everywhere
Mm-hmm.
you turn there, it was on the next level. Because if you see them in Japan, you go to Akiba because it's all very busy and they're trying to get people in and out as quick as they can. A lot of it is the vending machines and the arcade machines. But no, it was very good to see because there's a lot of shops that do again anime, Pokemon, all the games. So my husband likes to play all the vintage console games. So there's a lot of things for things like that. You can buy
Mm-hmm.
controllers, you can buy spare batteries or any accessories. So it was just nice to see a different variation of different stuff that we can't even buy in London. There's so many things that they have out there that we don't even have here. And some of the stuff, my husband obviously knows better than me, but he's like some of the stuff that he was able to buy in Japan, A, he wouldn't be able to buy here, and B, the prices difference is absolutely crazy. It's half the price to what we would pay here. And
Right.
he ended up buying I think two or three Gundam sets, which were half the price to what he would pay in London. And he was very happy with himself because he's like, oh, it'll fit in my suitcase. I mean, little did I know he was going to buy more for the rest of the trip. It was only the beginning, but no, it was just great. And I think
Wait, were any other additional suitcases purchased on this trip?
we didn't end up buying any, which was surprising. But we ended up having we ended up putting stuff in Ryan's suitcase because my husband
Mm-hmm.
he had pretty much one suitcase full with Gundam boxes, and some of them are big. They don't weigh much, but
Mm-hmm.
they are just
They
big
just take
because
up a lot of space,
they
right?
come as like on big sheets which you cut off, so it's like it's big but it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't weigh much. So we ended up putting stuff in Ryan's bag. Then we had extra bag in hand, like in hand. And to be honest, we were very lucky because British Airways didn't even look what we had in our bags. We just went through; they didn't even care. We were like, okay, fantastic. With certain airlines, I think they're a bit more
Mm-hmm.
stricter. They didn't even bother. My husband ended up buying two more sets of Gundam at the airport, and we carried that through. And they did not even look. They did not even look. So
That
I
was
think,
lucky.
yeah, no, we were. I was like, oh my god, please, please, please don't, please don't look at us. But it's not us. But no, it was really different because I'm not very much into like gadgets and stuff. But it was just nice to see the variations, and it's just like I think it was like I said, it's more the fact that like a lot of places had like the vending machines and the arcade machines, and a lot of people, going around and trying to win the toys and try and win this. It's
Mm-hmm.
just we don't have that many in London, so that's why for me it was very different to see what like it's so full on with these sort of places. But no, it's just cool. It's just different. It's just different setups and different ways of how people do things. So it was
Right.
just interesting for me. Yeah, I didn't go buying stuff because it's not something that is
Right.
for me. But it was just cool to see because my husband and Ryan they loved it. So they were just walking around the shops and
Mm-hmm.
like like kids in a candy shop. Oh my god, look at this! I'm like, I don't even know what that is, but I was just tagging along, so it's fine. But again, the purpose of the trip was for everybody to do something what they
Right.
wanted to do, which is what we
Yeah.
tried to achieve.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and I think that was something for the boys. And I was just like, yeah, I'm here. I'm still here. Don't
Mm-hmm.
worry. I'm not going anywhere. I'm still here. So yeah. So that was
So
great.
there's plenty for you to look at.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
All right. So was there anything else that day, or are we okay to move on
I
to
think I
Sunday?
think Saturday was just we did like sightseeing, shopping, etc. But again, we tried to get back relatively early because we wanted to be able to relax and rest for the Sunday. We
before the
came back,
exhibition. Right.
and I think what we did on a Saturday, we wanted to go to a sushi restaurant that I found online and a lot of people have recommended.
Mhm.
And it was a walking distance from the hotel. We could have got the metro, but we thought it was a nice warm evening, so we decided to take a walk. And it was about 10 15 minute walk. It was again inside of the shopping centre, which is quite a lot of the places had. They're like, it's literally all together, restaurant, shops,
Mhm.
everything together. Unfortunately, when we got there, the wait time for sit down dinner was 240 minutes.
Oh,
And I was only
wow.
prepared to wait for 4 hours. I was like, what? And it was already like 8 o'clock in the evening. I'm like, who's going to wait for 4 hours? I'm like, so because they had like a little food court, we went round the corner and there was a dim sum place that
Mhm.
had a set menu. You could do, I think, 5 dishes for like 1,000 yen, which is like £5 6.
Mhm.
And you can obviously the more you they do like all you can eat for like £15. I was like, well, I can't eat that much. I love it, but like I couldn't eat that much.
Yeah.
So and their waiting time was about 10 15 minutes. So we ended up
Perfect.
going there, and it was my first experience of being served my dinner by a robot because they have no human serving food. They load it on the little robot, and the little kitty cat robot brings you your food. You
Oh,
take it
that's
off,
fun.
and then it goes off. It was quite cool. It was very fascinating. So yes, we ended up having dinner there. Again, we just went back to took a slow walk back,
Mhm.
and that was it. I think that was we had enough excitement for one day. I think we just again
Yeah.
overwhelming using the underground, very new experience for us. Is just trying to
Right.
work it out. It is quite straightforward when you work it out, but until you do, it can get a bit confusing. So,
Right.
but yeah, no, I think that was it for the day.
Okay. All right. Well, Sunday, April 20th, you were back to the exhibition. So I imagine it was a lot of the same that you did the first day, with the exception of I know you had an appointment to get a photo taken with Hayden Christensen.
Yes, we
So
did.
how was that? Because I did a photo experience. I'm looking at it right now because I'm in Alex's room
Yeah.
and we paid for a photo with some of the members of the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh,
And it
fantastic.
was so fast. It was like
Yeah,
get in, smile,
that's it. Get
take
out.
the photo, get out. It was really fast. I mean, they were nice in the 30 seconds we
Yeah,
had with
yeah,
them, but
yeah.
it was really fast. So
It's
what
very
was your
fast.
experience like?
Um, so I mean, okay, where do I begin? The actual experience of meeting Hayden Christensen was great, and I'll
Mhm.
get to that in a second. But everything that happened prior to that was not the best experience. So there
Mm.
was a lot of talk going around the Star Wars Celebration fans. So we were given a time slot at 1:30 in the afternoon by
Mhm.
local time in Japan. So we went a little bit earlier saying, can we come early or do we have to come back on time? It was I look, I don't speak Japanese and maybe I should have learned a bit. However, it was an international event,
Mhm.
and it was very hard to communicate with some staff members that worked at the event. So they used the translation app, and the answer to everything was, "We don't know. You're gonna have to come back." And I was like, "That's fine, but can you tell me roughly 1 hour to like what time?" Because they said they were running behind
Mhm.
on schedule. I said that's fine, but they couldn't tell us the time. So in the end, they said just come back at 1:30 and we'll see what happens. So we came
Mhm.
back at 1:30, and again they said we're running behind. We don't know how long it's going to be. I was like, okay then. Well, I have no choice because if I don't get in the queue, they can't give me the time to come back, so I may miss out. So we're like, okay, let's get in and see what happens. So we got in about 1:30, and I think it was about, I would say, 2:30, and we could see him walking out his photo booth. And then we were like, obviously, he's a human, he needs a break, and I completely understand. It wasn't about, oh, where's he going? But the frustrating part was he left, and there was no communication saying, look, he's having a break, he's going to come back. Nobody came out to tell us what was going on. Half
Mhm.
an hour later, no update, and then we see him going. So what they did on the all the days of the event, they had Hayden Christensen's solo photo, Rosario Dawson, who played a solo photo, and then they did a
Mhm.
duo for both of them. and he went to do a dual photo after he left us. And people like, what's happening? What's going on?
Oh.
Why is he not why is he not here? So they were all taking their photos with him and Rosario Dawson. We were still waiting and waiting, waiting. No one saying anything. So in the end, I went over and I said, "Can you tell us what's happening? Because people are standing here, and there was some people with us in the queue who had a photo up with Hayden Christensen on a Friday, and they got told it's not going to happen Friday, come back Sunday." And people said, "Well, I don't have ticket for Sunday. What's going to happen? Because I don't have physical ticket to come to the event." So they're
Mm-hmm.
giving people tickets for the event to come back on Sunday. And there was quite a few people in the queue with us that were from Friday. So you can imagine
Oh,
their
wow.
frustration. They missed out on Friday, and it's getting closer and closer to the end because the event on Sunday finished at 4. So
Mm-hmm.
they were like, "Are we actually going to get to do it today, or what's happening?" And the problem
Hmm.
was nobody was telling us. So we were waiting, waiting, waiting. And I was like, "Look," I said, "you just need to tell us if it's going to happen, if it's not going to happen." So the last 3 hours of our time at the event, we ended up waiting in the queue to wait for him to come back. We missed his
When you had
closing
an
ceremony.
appointment.
Yeah, exactly. We've missed the
Yeah.
closing ceremony where they announced Los Angeles Star Wars Celebration 2027. So I had to watch everything on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, luckily we purchased everything we wanted to purchase before we went in the queue. But if you wanted to experience the event, they were giving
Mm-hmm.
tickets out or come back, but there was no time. So it could be half an hour, it could be an hour, it could be whatever. So nobody was telling. If they say give you a ticket, say okay, come back in half an hour, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But they were not telling people not giving any indication, which was a bit frustrating. So it was getting close to 4 o'clock, and obviously the event finished at 4. They've
Mm-hmm.
announced that it's finished. They're closing, like I said, please leave the event, and we're still standing. And I'm getting to the point thinking it's not going to happen. They're just going to tell us, look, it's 4 o'clock, it's done. He's not coming back. But I think he probably had a choice to go home or stay and obviously do the photo. And he did come back. Bless
Mm-hmm.
him. I think he was so stressed out because he's a human being. I feel like he was pulled left, right, and centre a bit on the day
Mm-hmm.
because he got there at 9. We got there at 9 because we saw him turn up. So we know what
Mm-hmm.
time he got there. And he's been taking photos, signing autographs, or whatever he was doing all day long. So you can
Mm-hmm.
imagine how tiring it can be. So we were getting closer to take the photo, and it was about 4 o'clock because the event has closed. And they said, "Look, it's very quick. You can't do this, you can't do that." I was like, "Okay, fair enough." I said, "Can I ask for a hug?" And the girl was like, "Well, you can try." So I walked in. So my brother Ryan went first because he was on his own. So I said, "Why don't you go first? Because at least we're behind you if anything. We like make sure he's okay." He went for a handshake. Wish Hayden Christensen happy birthday. He said, "Thank you very much." And then before you know it, he was obviously gone because it doesn't take too long. I offered him a birthday hug, and he said yes. I actually thought I was
Oh.
going to cry. He was so cute. He's like, I said, "I've waited for this for so long," meaning my whole life. He said, "I'm ever so sorry I made you wait based on today." I was like, "It's absolutely fine. Don't worry. It's all good." And in the picture, my smile is so high up. You cannot, I came out, I had a hug, and I didn't care about the 3 hours I waited. It was
Mm-hmm.
worth it. He was really in the space of
Mm-hmm.
time we were there. He was ever so nice, very grateful that we actually waited. He, like I said, I had a hug. My husband had a handshake. It was just, I think, because we waited so long. I'm actually tearing up. He was so nice.
Oh.
Um, I actually feel like because we waited so long, he felt that he had to be a bit like not extra nice, but like give people the opportunity to,
Mm-hmm.
to say things, etc. So the wait wasn't great because again, but I don't blame it on him because he can't.
Mm-hmm.
He only does what he's told essentially
It sounds
because
like it
he
was poor organizing and also
yes
poor communication on the
yeah,
venue's
and
part
that's the
because
thing.
like you said, if you have to wait, you have to wait, things happen, but it really
Absolutely,
does help for somebody to say, "Hey, I'm so sorry you're waiting. We think it'll be this long." Even if it's like not a great estimate, just having
exactly.
something makes you
Yeah,
feel like they're
yeah.
acknowledging what you're going through.
Exactly, and that's the thing, and that's what I think it was is the organisation didn't help. But if they would keep us updated. And I said, even if you give an update every half an hour, say, look, we're still waiting to hear back. He's coming back. We just don't know 100% maybe because they said half an hour. They said you could at least keep people updated.
Mm-hmm.
And my friend that I met at the Star Wars celebration that came from London as well, her and her friend had an autograph with Hayden Christensen on Sunday. They got completely cancelled, and the amount of people that got cancelled over the whole weekend, because I've heard that from quite a few people throughout the
Mm-hmm.
weekend. Um, Somebody said a system crash because they were allowing people to keep booking photos or
Oh,
signatures when it shouldn't have.
got it.
And that's the
So
thing. And
poor
again,
organization and just the
yeah,
system letting way too many people
yeah,
sign up for this
and
than should have.
that's what I heard from people around, like
Did your friend
from
get her money back?
they did get the money back, but they got dressed up with all the
Mm-hmm.
stuff with obviously either Darth Vader or Hayden Christensen. They brought the stuff for him to sign, and they only found out it was cancelled when they got there. If they would have said to them the day before, "Look, we're ever so sorry, we can't do it tomorrow," you could have prepared yourself. But if I that's where I was getting a bit upset because I was like, I came prepared to meet him. I've been here queuing for all this time, and if they now
Mm-hmm.
say sorry, it's not happening,
Mm-hmm.
money can't buy it, can it? Your expectations of meeting the actor or seeing the actor, getting him to sign stuff or taking a
Mm-hmm.
photo, money can't buy that. Like, yes, you're paying for the photo, but if they give me a refund, I would still be gutted, regardless whether they give me
Right.
money or not. And I think that's what it was, is not having, yeah, that experience
Mm-hmm.
with him. But yeah, I'm glad we did. I was actually, because I was getting to the point where I was worried they would just say, look, we don't think it's going to happen. So,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, no, I'm glad we did. It was probably one of the highlights of the trip because he was
Mm-hmm.
just so nice, honestly. And in my opinion, he doesn't get the credit for what he did for Star Wars. I think he's
Mm-hmm.
only now getting the love for his character. He had so much hatred for years
I've
since the film
noticed
came.
that. I've noticed that lately people seem to really be appreciative
Yeah,
of him as an actor,
absolutely.
and that particular trilogy that was
Yes,
added onto the original,
absolutely.
um, when it first came out, especially those of us who were alive when the the first set came out,
Yeah,
I think there was a lot of like, "Ew, what is
yeah,
this?"
yeah.
And now I've
No,
noticed that people are really accepting it as part of the overall
no,
Star Wars universe in the same way that they now accept the cartoon, and like there's all these different parts to it. It's
exactly.
not just the original three movies
Absolutely,
anymore.
there's more to it now. Absolutely, and I think
Yeah.
that's what it is. Is having the recognition. I think that's what I'm saying. If it was a few years ago, probably he would have thought, oh, the whole day may have been overwhelming. He may have actually left and gone home. But I think because now, and like I said, the Friday was his birthday, the love and appreciation he had from the fans singing happy birthday,
Hmm.
etc. I think, yeah, I think he most people do for the fans. They don't do it for themselves. I think it's for the fans because fans are the people that carry any franchise, because if without the
Hmm.
fans there's going to be nothing, isn't it? You can make such a fantastic film, but if there's no fans sometimes, isn't it? So no,
Hmm.
it was really, really great. It was, like I said, it was a long wait. It was frustrating at the time, but I forgot all that as soon as I saw him. It was all gone. So it was just, yeah,
Yeah.
it was nice to get that experience. So I'm so glad we did it. I really am.
Mm. Well, we have a lot more to get through and limited time. So
Yes.
let's move on to Monday, April 21st. You were
Mhm.
planning to take the bullet train to Kyoto to see a particular shrine you were interested in, but you also were kind of toying around with the idea of going to Osaka that same day. So
Yeah.
how did this day actually pan out?
Well, we actually didn't go to Kyoto, Osaka on a Monday. We
Okay.
decided to stay in Tokyo, purely because I think because Sunday we from the South Celebration we were a bit. I think that weekend was a bit too busy and tiring, and we thought
Mm-hmm. You
traveling
needed a break.
early on the train would have been a little bit much. So what we've decided to do, we have decided to stay in Tokyo and do a little bit more of different areas,
Mm-hmm.
exploring. So we found another Pokemon Center that my husband wanted to visit. We found a Godzilla head because it sits on the top of the hotel, which is quite cool.
Mm-hmm.
There was the area that has like a 3D billboards. So we wanted to do a bit more like just around Tokyo just to see. We wanted to go to Shibuya as well, which is where the Tokyo Drift was filmed.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't end up going there because the whole day took a bit longer, but we did visit Harajuku. We did, what else did we go? We did go to Disney Store. We did. It's called Ikebukuro. I made my pronunciation maybe horrendous, but what we try to do, we try to target the areas that are like close by together. So then we get on
Sure.
the
Makes
train
sense.
and we either can walk from one another or it's a short ride from one station to the other.
Mm-hmm.
And we try to do like the areas together because, like I said, we were looking for the Pokemon centers, we were looking for the Disney store just to see what they
Mm-hmm.
had because a lot of the stuff that they sell in London they don't sell there, and vice versa. So we went to see what other stuff they had, and a lot
Mm-hmm.
of the May the 4th stuff started to come out. So they had a Disney store pop up at the Star Wars celebration, but you couldn't buy anything. So we thought,
Mm-hmm.
oh well, we see what they had in store, so we wanted to go see what we can get in the store.
Mm-hmm.
And then we did that. Yes, we did the Godzilla head. We just walked around, just had a look. There's like I said, there's so many things you don't see once you walk down the road and you're, oh, this shop's cute. You go in there, oh, this shop's
Mm-hmm.
nice, and you just start going around. Then we were on a mission to
It's
get
nice
us.
to have that spontaneity
Yeah,
element. You do have to have some sort of planning, especially for a bigger trip like this,
exactly.
but to have spontaneity within the planning, I think is the
Exactly.
ideal.
Well, that's what we did. We tried not to overcrowd. We had the idea of certain shops that we
Mhm.
wanted to visit, and we thought we'll give a bit of extra time because, again, you don't want to be run, 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 run. Wear yourself out, and then oh, I want to stop here. No, we don't have time. We didn't want to do that exactly because we wanted to experience the local cuisine. We wanted to experience the local shops, like little souvenir shops that you wouldn't normally, find in certain places, and different areas have
Mhm.
different stuff, different things that are associated with this area, So we wanted just to have a look. And again, we didn't know how often the trains run because, again, we've never done it before. Their
Mhm.
metro is not something that we were familiar with. So we wanted to allow a bit of time. And again, taking into account that we had quite warm weather throughout the trip, getting a bit hot, you don't want to overdo it. So we wanted to take it easy. So yeah, so we've done all these areas. We wanted to do Shibuya as the last one because that's then making our way back to Tokyo.
Mhm.
But we ended up stopping in Disney store for ages and picking up stuff up. And I was like I said again, prices comparing to London, I was in heaven. I was picking stuff up and paying hardly any money. And again, so the rule in Japan is that you have to carry your passport with you at all times because you can get stopped by police. And if you don't
Mm.
have it, you can get fined, I think, up to 1,200 yen or
Mhm.
12, or they even say you can get actually put in a cell overnight. We never get
What?
stopped. Yeah, I know. So I think, I suppose, unless you're doing something like very naughty,
Wrong
I
anyway,
doubt you're going to
and
be
you don't
put
have
in a
your
cell. I
passport.
think, yeah,
Right.
you know what I mean. So we have seen police stopping people and searching bags, etc. We never got stopped in the whole time we were there, but we did carry a passport with us because, do you know what? We don't want to be paying
Right.
the fines, etc. But again, it was handy because if you are a tourist in Japan, you get tax free. So if you show your passport, you can get tax free, and they take the money off the purchase for most stores. Some stores you had to pay full price and then you had to go to a little information tax free office within the shopping centre, which will give
Mhm.
you money back. But yeah, it was quite handy to do that. So yeah, so with our
Right.
passport tax free, it was honestly, I paid probably for the items I purchased, I would have paid £100 in London. I probably paid less than £50 there. So I was like, so I took stuff. I was like, I'm never gonna, but if you don't buy, you're gonna regret it. So I had to pick
Right.
stuff up. So yeah, so I did a bit of shopping, did a bit of exploring different areas on the other side of Tokyo City, and yeah, we did make it to Shibuya because again, it was just a little bit too much. But we did manage to go to the sushi place that we wanted to go on Saturday, and we
Mhm.
found one nearby, and we managed to get there, and the waiting time wasn't long at
Was
all.
not 4 hours.
No, that one was fantastic because I was like, please not take us 240 minutes. I think
Mhm.
we've only waited about 20 minutes because you can have So it's like a conveyor belt. You order your food and it comes to you. You can
Mm-hmm.
have a little stool at the bar if you like don't have any bags or if you're on your own. But if you have got a few people, they give you like you can get like a little booth, which is what we went for because we had some shopping bags. There was three of us, so it'll be easier rather than trying to cram the bags around us. And then yeah, there's a tablet. You order your food, it arrives to you, and then you just pay it at the end. And just to give you a prime example of the price, we go to sushi restaurants in London, and similar concept is on the conveyor belt. You normally would pay £4 the least for the set. We paid their most expensive one was 79p for the plate, compared to
Okay.
£4 we pay in London. So we had a I was in paradise. I was ordering all the different food, and I only paid like £7. So I was like, here I would have paid triple that, probably if
Mm-hmm.
not more. So yeah, so that was great result that we found that. So I was very happy about it. But yeah, it was a nice day of again looking around, seeing all the cars. We've seen a lot of people doing the Mario Kart experience on the route. So you
Mm-hmm.
can pay that and you basically drive a Mario Kart um, throughout around Japan or Tokyo, etc., wherever they go. We didn't do it because you have to have a full driver's license to do it. Ryan doesn't have a driver's license yet, so we said next time we go to Japan, he has to have a driver's license because we have to do it. But
Okay.
it wasn't like something we've missed out much at. We wanted to do, but it wasn't the end of the world if we didn't do it. We had so many other
Mm-hmm.
things planned. We didn't mind if we didn't do it. So, but yeah, it
Sure.
was just nice to see what people did. So it's nice to see them driving around. Some people
Mm-hmm.
get dressed up in different outfits, which is quite cool. But yeah, it was nice to explore, have some sushi finally that I've waited for so long, and yeah. So we tried to. So we left quite early. Tried coming back a bit early as well because the next day we had an early travel, so we wanted to be back
Yeah.
in bed, ready for a full day.
All right. So that brings us to your first theme park day of
Yeah.
this trip, which was Tuesday, April 22nd, and you were headed to Osaka for Universal Studios. And you had mentioned in the pre trip that they just had Donkey Kong Land open. So, what are some of the highlights of your Universal Studios day, particularly if there are things that are different there than we have access to at any of our Universal Studios parks in the States?
I think as a whole it's a different experience because it's the different setup. They have different characters. There's a lot of comparing to like we've done Hollywood, we've done Florida, Universal. There's a lot more characters just roaming around. I haven't seen as many in the US, which I think is would
Hmm.
be nice to see. They had like the Wicked, both girls out there. They had Snoopy
Hmm.
walking around. They had all the minions dancing around. Minions were like the highlight of the whole day. They were coming out with different outfits, dancing, singing, etc. So it's quite cool. So I think that would be nice to see in more parks. So just more characters coming around. I've seen
Hmm.
few in Hollywood, but not as much I think as I've seen in Japan.
Hmm.
I think they had obviously, sadly, their Jaws ride was shut, which was disappointing. We wanted to experience that because when we went to Florida, that was already shut as well.
Right.
But you know what? It's one of those things you can't if it's broken, it's broken. They had it's called Flying with the Dinosaur ride. So you're sitting down where they load you on. They obviously lock you in, and then they tilt you, and you're actually flying. I
Oh,
did not let go of the
okay.
restraints because I was so petrified. I did close my eyes, which I thought I would. Ryan and Adam let their arms go so you can like pretend you're flying, but it's a
Sure.
roller coaster. So you
Hmm.
fly forward, then it does the loops backwards. Yeah, it was a bit terrifying because you can see obviously people walking underneath, and you're just like, oh my god, please, please. But I had to do it because I thought if
Hmm.
I don't do it, I'll regret it. So it was great to experience that. Again, for me, Universal, the best part for me was to see Ryan's reaction to the park because he has never done Universal Park. So we did a Jurassic
Mm.
ride, which we've done it. We knew what it was like. It was great. He was like his face just was priceless. It was just to see him experience that. We've done obviously Jurassic. We then did the Harry Potter rides again. Fly Hippogriffin ride and just seeing the Hogwarts. It was just his reaction for me was probably what made the whole day because That's what I was like when I went the first time, and it was just nice to see. And yeah, as you said earlier, they have opened in February Donkey Kong Land. So you go through Nintendo Wild Land and then takes you
Mm-hmm.
into the Donkey Kong Land. You had Donkey Kong there again as a character, meet and greet, taking photos, etc. They had nice souvenir cup with a drink in it. So
Mm-hmm.
you have like a little waffle with like a milkshake type of drink, and there's a Donkey Kong barrel. You can take that home with you, and a little Donkey Kong spoon in it. So we had to get that, to try the drink and then take something with us. And the Donkey Kong ride was crazy. It was awesome. We rode it at the end of the day,
Mm-hmm.
and it was just fun. It was just so much fun. And obviously, I've done the Nintendo ride, the Mario rides,
Mm-hmm.
but that was just fantastic. It was really, really good. So much fun. We did buy the fast pass for the Nintendo World.
Mm-hmm.
So for the Universal Park for the whole day. So we had the Donkey Kong rides, Nintendo rides, and Harry Potter rides allocated time slots only because we were only there for the day. We wanted to make sure we got on those rides because they're very, very popular, and the rides were like 2 hour, 3 hour wait, and we didn't want to wait
You
that
don't have
long.
that kind of time.
We didn't want
Yeah.
to do that. So what we did, our time slot started in the afternoon. So in the morning we did the Minions, we did the Jurassic, we went round, just had a look around the shops, seeing if you wanted to buy anything. For the Nintendo World Land, you can get an entry ticket. So they still do the tickets for the entries. Yeah, so I think experiencing the Nintendo World was great because we have done in Florida, we've done in California, but again, it is different. Every
Mm-hmm.
land is different in every theme park and the way they set it up. But yeah, we did. You can get a free entry just into the area
Mm-hmm.
ticket for the Nintendo World. They have the machine, so you could. What we did, we took the ticket just to explore if we wanted to look in the shops, get some food and drink, if because they do themed food in every area, so it was
Mm-hmm.
nice just to have a look around. And then when the time slot came, we went and did all the rides that were allocated for the time slots for us, and
Mm-hmm.
that was really, really good. It was great to save time again because, like I said, we were only there for the day. Because their day ticket, like for just for the entry, was about £50, and I think we paid about 120 for the fast pass on its own. But it was
Mm-hmm.
worth every penny because we
But
got
still,
to do.
that's not a bad deal
No,
considering how much it
definitely.
costs to go to a Universal Park in the US for one day.
Exactly, and that's what we thought. And this is how when we booked any travel, food, accommodation, we compared it to US because we've done theme parks, we've done obviously long travel to California, which was 11 hours. So we were comparing it in terms of the destination, the distance, and food, and etc. But yeah, no, their
Mm-hmm.
prices weren't bad, and we thought for one day, and then again, if you travel again, you have to spend time and more money. If you do it
Mm-hmm.
on one day, and most universal parks are not, apart from Florida, but the California is not massive unless you do like a VIP tour, which we've done before. It's not a massive park. One day generally is enough because we managed to do the water show, the water world show. We've done the rides we want to do. We had a lunch at the Jurassic restaurant with the Jurassic named dinosaur
Mm-hmm.
burgers, which was quite nice. And we sat by the little like lake they have inside, just enjoying the weather. So no, it was really good day. We
Mm-hmm.
left. We had a 6:20 train from Tokyo to Osaka, and then we
Mm-hmm.
just took a little local metro from Osaka to Universal because it's like a Universal city as everywhere else. To the Universal Studios. Again, they have like a little Universal walk with the shops and restaurants and everything. So
Mm-hmm.
you can, if people finish
Oh, like City Walk. Yeah.
the city walk, so you can go for restaurants, you can go for
Mm-hmm.
food. But yeah, we got to Osaka and I got the metro, which was I think about 15-20 minutes on the metro, so it wasn't too far. And it's a really short walk from the station
Mm-hmm.
into the park. And yeah, we booked our tickets through the Klook app. We booked all our theme park tickets through it because I've seen a lot of people recommend it. And it worked. There was no issues with any tickets. We clocked straight in and no problem. And Universal Studios as well. if you buy stuff in the parks and you have your passport on you, which you should have, as they say, you
Mm-hmm.
get tax free. You get it there and there back. So yeah, so that was
Good.
quite good as well. So we got some money back.
All right. Well, you had a couple more days before you got over to the Disney portion of your trip. What did you do with your Wednesday, April 23rd, and Thursday, April 24th?
So Wednesday we did the Kyoto trip. So we
Mm-hmm.
took a bullet train from Tokyo to Kyoto. So we had the 7 day travel pass, which allowed us the metro, the trains, and the bullet train travel. So we reserved our seat for those because it's a long journey. You don't have to, but if you want to sit together, if you want a
Mm-hmm.
specific seat, we reserved the seat. So we did Kyoto in the morning. We did one of the oldest shrines. I think it was when I looked, it was 13,000 years old. Is the Meiji
Wow.
Fushimi Inari Shrine. I can
Mm-hmm.
message you the name, but yeah, it is beautiful. It was worth because people say it gets very busy past like 8, 9 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
But again, people are sharing tips if you go further down the line, and it's not less busy because everybody crowds at the front. If you go a bit
Mm-hmm.
further, you can get a better view without less people, get some nice pictures. And even my husband, he's not very much into things like that. He was like, "Oh
Mm-hmm.
my god, this is amazing! I'm glad we did it." And I was proud
Mm-hmm.
of it. He actually liked it because he doesn't often like things like that. So yeah, so we did
Mm-hmm.
that in the morning. So what the plan was, do the Kyoto in the morning, and if we cover everything we wanted in Kyoto, then go to Osaka for the afternoon. If then it overruns in Kyoto, we spend the day. Then we were going to go to Osaka the following day.
Got it.
We did everything we wanted in Kyoto, and about lunchtime we got the train to Osaka
Mm-hmm.
because we again we're not. Once you've seen one shrine and one castle, to me is I've seen one. I don't particularly want to spend
Right.
another half a day doing
Yeah,
the
I would
same
feel the
stuff.
same way.
So we did Kyoto in the morning, did the shrine, had wandered around just to see what they have, just to explore the area really, and because they had little local souvenir shops, a little bit of like local food, local different like parks with different other little other shrines. So we just had a little look around, and then we got the train from Kyoto to Osaka in the afternoon. And again, we wanted to see, there was like a little dragon shrine that was quite, a lot of people have recommended.
Mm-hmm.
We weren't keen on Osaka Castle because again, we've seen others, so we were like, you know what, it was quite out of town, and we didn't want to spend like an hour or so traveling out just to see something we've kind of already seen.
Right.
So we just walked around the town. They had Osaka exhibition this year, so there's a lot of people going for that. And you can see it was quite busy for that, like a lot more people travel to Osaka. We did their main shopping area with all the souvenir shops, all the local food, and we then walked from there to the Dragon Shrine,
Mm-hmm.
which unfortunately shut just before we got there because it was closing at 5, and we got there 10 past 5.
Oh
I managed to
no.
get some pictures of it. I got to see it. That was fine. I didn't have a picture in it, but I can Photoshop myself on if I'm that
Of course you can.
worried. But we got to see. It was quite nice because it's like a big dragon head, and it was free
Mm-hmm.
to enter. But unfortunately, like I said, it was closed, and we actually finished earlier than we thought. So we originally had the last train out of Osaka into Tokyo, which was at 8:45.
Mm-hmm.
But because we finished a bit early, we went to the train station and they have kindly moved us to train earlier. So we left a little bit earlier, managed to get back a little bit early as well. So that
Mm-hmm.
was quite nice because it's a 3 hour journey from Tokyo to Kyoto or Osaka. So we
Oh,
thought if
okay.
we get back a little bit earlier, that would be nice. So we, instead of 8:45, I think we got on the 7 o'clock train, which was
Mm-hmm.
quite nice just to be back a little bit earlier because I think 2 days of 3 hour journeys has worn us out a little bit. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so then that was on a Wednesday, and on a Thursday, because we decided to go back to Akihabara, which is the gadget place. As I said, my husband absolutely loves this sort of thing, so we went back to see if he wanted to buy any more Gundam models, if there was anything else he didn't get to look in at the shops before, because again, it was a lot going on. He just wanted to make sure he's seen everything he wanted to see, and
Mm-hmm.
then on the Thursday, we finally made it to Shibuya, which is where the Tokyo Drift was filmed. They have a statue for the Shibuchika, which is the dog that waited for his owner by the train station.
Mm-hmm.
Again, it was so crowded by the statue because everybody wanted to take a picture. But I was
Mm-hmm.
more interested in the crossing because I think that's what I went for, is just to see how cool that looked, and it was just so much better in real life than it was in the films. And
Mm-hmm.
we then again wandered around the shops. They had nice little souvenir shops. We had tried some local food as well. People recommended, like again, through most of the food we found was through Instagram, which was quite good. And then we made our way back to the
Mm-hmm.
hotel because on the Friday morning we were checking out and we were going to Disney. So I had to
All
be ready
right.
for that. I had to be fresh and ready for that.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get to Disney. So, Friday, April 25th was a Disneyland day for you.
Hmm.
Before we get into your park time, you were staying at a different hotel for this portion of
Yes,
your trip, the Hotel Okura Tokyo Bay. How
correct.
was the hotel there?
Oh, the hotel was fantastic. The room was bigger than the Tokyo room, so in comparison, the Tokyo room was 13 square meters. This was 42 square meters. So it
Oh,
was
that's a
like a
big
really
difference.
big room. Yes, it
Okay.
was really lovely. The hotel was so where the hotel was, we were walking distance to the monorail. So
Mm-hmm.
we probably a couple of minutes from the hotel to the monorail, and then depending which park you go, you get off at the station. So in Japan, you have to pay for the monorail; it's not free.
Mm-hmm.
And we you can get a 1 day pass or a 2 day pass.
Mm-hmm.
It's cheaper to get 2 day. I They all have different character prints on them, so I paid for two tickets just to have different prints. But
Mm-hmm.
if you get a day pass, it was 700 yen, which is about £4,
Mm-hmm.
3 4 pound. If you get a 2 day, you're saving about £2 on the 2 day ticket. But I
Mm-hmm.
got to Ryan Adam got one, but I got two because I wanted a different print on the characters because they're celebrating Donald's birthday. So I got one with that, and I got one with the Mickey Magician, which was quite good as well. So yeah, so we were about a 5 minute walk to the monorail. We did get an Uber from the hotel in Tokyo to Disney because,
Mm-hmm.
again, with the amount of luggage, we didn't want to rest it underground, and also because we had to be there early, we didn't want to get up even earlier than having to travel,
Mm-hmm.
and we paid from Tokyo to Disney. I think we paid each about £10. So it was about £30
Mm-hmm.
on an Uber. The Uber we used an Uber app, which we used in America, in Greece before, and that
Mm-hmm.
worked quite well. So they came and picked us up in the taxi, took us to the hotel. We checked in again because we couldn't get in the room. We left the bags in the hotel.
Mm-hmm.
Went and you could buy the ticket for the monorail at the station. The only thing I would say, they do not accept card there. We've not had problem anywhere else really. That was the only place. Is cash
Really?
only. Yeah,
Wow. Okay.
there's no card. So we then had to go to the nearby Hilton Hotel, which is the only hotel that had a cash machine, and we had to get cash to go then go back. So that's the only if you we didn't have to get any cash anywhere else. We were fine for everything else. Card was absolutely fine. That was the only time we really had to get cash out because yeah, there was no cash machine at the station and they don't accept cards, which was a bit of a disappointment because we then had to leave and go back to get the tickets. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's good to know for anybody else who's planning a trip.
Most of the train stations for the subway, you can use card. I think there was one station we couldn't really, but it wasn't a big deal. Like you
Hmm.
predominantly, they are quite card dominant. But yeah, that
Right.
was the only place there was no way we could have paid. And so yes, we had to go cash. There's a Hilton hotel that was pretty much round the corner from where we were staying, so we could have gone. We went and got some cash from there.
Hmm.
But yeah, so we checked in, got the cash, got the tickets, and then yeah, you have got obviously stops at different hotels, so you have got Tokyo Disneyland stop, you have Tokyo Disney Sea separate stop, and obviously the hotels. There was one stop that was going to the train station, one for a different hotel. So it's like a little loop, like for all the monorails, they just go around in loop. It doesn't go in the park, it just gets you to the park. So we had that, we got the ticket, went to the park, and again, we used our Klook app to book the ticket. So we used that
Mm-hmm.
ticket to get in. Again, with not a problem, not an issue. And again, comparing to US, comparing to Disneyland Paris, their shop prices are, just to give you a comparison, the Disney ears in theme parks in America is about $35. In Japan, they were 10. So you could buy
Mm.
3 pairs for the price of one, and that's how cheap everything was. Their prices are not tax free; you're paying full price, but at their prices, it wasn't bad to,
It's so low
uh,
anyway.
it
Yeah.
wasn't bad. So what we did, we went into the park, had some food because it was quite early, so we had some breakfast. You can do some restaurants, same as in US. You can do mobile order. Some places you can't. So we did get some food, did some rides. Most rides were quite considering it was a Friday. We didn't queue more than half an hour for a ride, so that was not
Mm-hmm.
too bad. So we did that. They had obviously the
What
Donald. Yeah.
what rides did you experience in the Disneyland park that were unique to Tokyo?
So unique to Tokyo, they have a Baymax ride,
Mm-hmm.
which is very special. Like it's just unique to the Tokyo park, and then they also have the Beauty and the Beast ride.
Mm-hmm.
I am a huge Beauty and the Beast fan. I grew up watching Belle and the Beast. Like it was just one of those things, like the
Mm-hmm.
original Disney cartoons. And to be on the ride, I actually felt I was in the cartoon. It is so, it's crazy how they've done it. It's just, yeah, they make
Mm-hmm.
you part of it. So the Beauty and the Beast ride, what you can get, so some of their rides you can get a free standby pass. You don't have to pay for it, and then you come back at an allocated time slot.
Mm-hmm.
But those go quite quick. So if you're not there early in the morning, because people queue literally like 3 a.m. in the morning before the park opens at 9. They there. Like
That's
I couldn't
crazy.
believe it, but we went past the queue and it was crazy. So people get in first to get the free ride or get on the ride for free without the queue, etc. So we paid to get on the Beauty and the Beast ride, and that one was only £10. That's all we paid. So that I didn't mind paying because, like, again, we were only there for the day. It wasn't that much money. You can't get a day's fast pass ticket. You only pay for certain rides. Some we
Mm-hmm.
managed to get for free. So we got the Big Thunder Mountain for free. We got the Haunted Mansion for free. The Haunted Mansion again is similar ride, but they have a different story to it comparing to
Mm-hmm.
other parks. So like every ride has its own different story. So that was different. But yeah, the Beauty and the Beast is exclusive to Japan, and the Baymax ride was exclusive to Japan. And we also paid late in the evening for Baymax, which was again about £10. All the other rides we managed to get on for free
Mm-hmm.
without any problem. They had their Pirates of the Caribbean ride was sadly shut, so we
Mm-hmm.
didn't get to experience that. But that was shut for a few days because my friend was there a few days prior and it was already shut. So they must have had some problem going on for a few days.
Mm-hmm.
But the rest of the rides are similar. They have obviously Splash Mountain, which is what they used to have in America. They
Mm-hmm.
have the Big Thunder Mountain. They have obviously the Haunted Mansion, the
Mm-hmm.
carousels, all the usual rides that you would see in a Disney park. But these were the two rides that exclusive to um, Japan. Unfortunately, when
Mm-hmm.
we were riding Baymax, someone's ears kept falling off because it goes quite fast. And they said, "Please take them off," and they had to stop the ride 3 times because it starts
Oh,
powering
that's
up and ride.
frustrating.
It was, and especially if it
That
happened once, you would think, "Oh, come on, you've already seen somebody like."
right.
Take yours off, and they
Mm-hmm.
did say if they'll carry on stopping, they'll have to get everybody off. And I'm like, oh, please, please don't,
No.
you know. And then we finished the evening in Disneyland watching their fireworks display on the castle. The only thing with their park, because they're so close to the airport, their fireworks don't bang. Yes, so they can't do the fire. So they light up, but there was no bang, so you couldn't hear a single bang because of the. You could see flames flying over. So we believe that's why they weren't allowed to do that. We don't know. That might be us presuming it, but we believe because of the airport being so
Mm-hmm.
close by, they couldn't do it. But yeah, but it was still great to see because they put different characters on and the
Mm-hmm.
songs is again it's different display to any other theme park we've been to. So
Yeah.
it was nice to finish the day with the fireworks display and the castle lit up, and it was yeah, it was
Mm-hmm.
really nice and very
Oh, I
pretty,
bet it was
very
beautiful.
good. Yeah, very nice.
All right. Saturday, April 26th was your Tokyo Disney Sea Day.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember that you told me how much you love The Little Mermaid. And I believe
Yes,
that they have a Little Mermaid section of that park.
they do.
So,
They
how
do.
was that?
Ah, it was fantastic. I think that was the first place we actually went to because I had Ariel Little Disney Bound on. I was like I
Mm-hmm.
had to go to because they have like a Little Mermaid lagoon.
Mm-hmm.
So that was really good. But I have to say, because we stayed in the evening, it lights up even more pretty than it was in the day. It was
Oh, yeah.
just mesmerizing, like just because they play the music. You have the little mermaid statue, you have all the little seashell castles, and then inside they had like a more like a kids play area with like more like a kids appropriate rides. But you
Mm-hmm.
had when you walk in, you had King Triton sitting at the front, and it's like for him going to for his celebration as he did in the cartoon, and then you go in and you have little rides like pufferfish fly around and stuff like that.
Mm.
So it was quite nice. And people have recommended a sea salt sea. It's a shell like an ice cream, and that which
Mm-hmm.
was sold in the kids area. So I had to try it, and it was fantastic. I was like, and imagine my pink dress, so it was even better.
I heard that the snacks in Tokyo Disney Sea are amazing.
I mean, I think the Disneyland as well was nice. I think their whole food, snacks, everything is just on a different level. Because before we went, I did a bit of research, and you have like these Disney blogs and with food and stuff, and just looking at the pictures,
Mm-hmm.
it's crazy. And I got a popcorn bucket which has a Disney castle that lights up different colors and with all
Mm-hmm.
the characters like in the sky.
Yeah.
And I only paid like $15, £15 for it. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
it was crazy. It was just their food and snack game is completely. I mean, I thought California did it well. I have to say,
Mm-hmm.
I prefer California food to Florida. That's my personal opinion. Don't throw
Mm-hmm.
stones at me. Those people that love Florida. I mean, they're good, but I love California. Like they everything they've done for the food and the parks and stuff. But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Tokyo Disney food wise, they it's a different level. It's absolutely like I don't know how they do half the stuff they do when they make an egg yolk Mickey shape. Like how?
Mm-hmm.
What science is this? What's this? I know it's magic. I can believe
Uh-huh.
that. But yeah, no, their food, everything we've had in Disney parks, like snacks, ice cream, lollies, we had like breakfast. Yeah, everything's been great. And price wise, again, it's comparison to different parks, nowhere near. You can just easily stuff your face all day. You won't even feel the dent in your pocket. It was
Mm-hmm.
just yeah. So yeah, so
Yeah.
the Little Mermaid Lagoon was just great. It was lovely, and at the moment, so Daffy Bear is very, very popular in Japan, in Tokyo Disney
Mm-hmm.
Sea. I think she's
And his
more pop.
friends.
Yeah, oh, sorry, and the Friends, yes. But it's 20 years of Duffy and Friends this year,
Mm-hmm.
and they've had little boat parade for Duffy and the Friends going around the park. There's a lot of artwork. They were giving out stickers with and there's like flower displays for Duffy and Friends. It was just fantastic. And somebody I know makes Disney clothes, so she sells Disney merchandise, but she makes her own.
Mm-hmm.
And just before we were going, she has released a pink Duffy Bear jumper, and I was like, well, I wasn't sure who Duffy was until I actually decided to go to Tokyo Disney because that's not the character I was very familiar with, quite honestly. But I
Mhm.
thought because going to Japan, I thought it'll be very appropriate. It'll go nicely with my pink Ariel dress. It'll just look like it sits together. And I had a lot of compliments for my jumper because people kept coming up and saying, "Oh, that's very pretty." Well, in Japanese they say kawaii, and at first I was like, "What's this?" And then I soon found out that's what it was. So it was nice to be part of that Duffy celebration with my jumper.
Mhm.
So I didn't realize it was 20 years, but it was just nice when I went, and it was just, yeah, it was just pretty because all the displays. So I had some nice, cute pictures with my
Mhm.
jumper and all the displays. So yeah, that was lovely.
Cute.
And yeah, so we did that, and we again, the hotel tower is different ride to any other parks we've been to.
Mhm.
They did the Indiana Jones ride is very similar to the California, just a different film is based on, but it's a
Mhm.
similar concept of the ride. And again, it's
Mhm.
the ride that we have done, but my brother-in-law Ryan hasn't, so we're very excited to take him on. That was the only ride we had to queue for quite some time because we couldn't get a free fast pass. We couldn't pay for it because the ride broke down during the day. So they said
Mhm.
we can't sell any fast pass because we need to
Oh,
make sure that people that paid already for can get on.
right.
And I think that was the ride we queued probably an hour and a half for, I would say.
Mhm.
But all the others were the same, about 20 minutes, half an hour. We managed to get on all the rides. So we did the hotel tower. We did the first ride we did in the morning was the journey to the center of the
Center of the
earth.
earth. Yeah.
Yeah, that was great. It was really like before you knew it, like it all started to happen. I'm like, oh, I was like, first I was like, okay, that's fine, yeah, that's nice and easy, and then it all happened. I was like, oh my god. So
Mhm.
that one was the first one we did as well because that gets busy. We couldn't get the fast pass for that, and I think that one we waited about 40 minutes for. He said over an hour, but we didn't
Mhm.
wait that long. It was actually quite quick. So yeah, so the Indiana Jones only because it's shut during the day and reopened. That was the longest one, but we've managed to again get on quite a lot of the rides. We've seen obviously the Duffy and Friends, the River Parade. We've seen the evening show. We've done the rides. Had some nice food, and I think we so with the normal Disneyland park, I think the day what we had was enough. We did everything we wanted to do. I think
Mhm.
Tokyo Disney Sea because sometimes you because there's so much just in terms of not just the rides but the areas are so cool you just want to explore it. Probably 2 days would be better than one day. We didn't know how it was going to be, so we only did a
Mhm.
day. But we when we left, we're like, "Do you know what? 2 days would be better because we didn't spend much time in the Aladdin like Agrabah type of like
Mhm.
setup area, and then we didn't do much with the Toy Story. So like we could have had with 2 days. I think 2 days would have been better.
Do you think one day at Disneyland and 2 days at Tokyo Disney Sea, or 2 days in each of those?
See, we because we managed to do everything in Disneyland, I don't think we personally needed to. However, I think if people like we used to like a fast paced holidays, we used to doing a lot of things in one day, like kind of thing. So
Mhm.
I was fine with it. We were okay with it. But if you want to spend a little bit more time, so my friends went and they did 3.5 days, and they said
Mhm.
that was enough. So they did 2 days in Disney Sea and a day and a half in Disney because in Tokyo Disney you can buy Monday to Friday they sell theme park ticket for half a day, so you can go in from 5 p.m.
Oh,
and you
got
pay
it.
like half a price kind of thing.
Mhm.
So if you want to do that, so maybe like a day and a half, because then
Mhm.
you're only there for like the evening and then like a full day. But
Right.
that is an option, but they only do that Monday to Friday, so that's only during the work week. On the weekend, they only full day tickets, but if people go during the week, there is an
Mhm.
option for half day. So that's what she said that was enough. But again,
Yeah.
see, they wanted to do like a Winnie the Pooh, and then there's obviously have the Fantasy Springs in Disney Sea. So they
Mhm.
spend a lot more time there. It wasn't something that we were too keen on because it's not we I'm not like a huge Peter Pan fan or Winnie the Pooh fan. I don't mind it, but I wouldn't spend like half a day in that area just because. Where for
Right.
some people that may be something they wanted to do. So I think
Mhm.
my personal recommendation would be look at the areas and the rides that are there and see what works for you, because people might say, well, actually I may need 3 days in that park because there's so much more for me personally. So I
Right.
think people need to look at what's there, because we didn't mind of certain rides, etc. Like, we don't
Mhm.
have kids, so we didn't need rides in the Fantasyland. If I didn't get on all of them, it's fine. You only do
Mhm.
whatever you want to do. So I think it's basic brand what you like, what your
Right.
favorite areas or favorite rides, and then go from
Mhm.
there. Because,
So
but I
do your
think
research before you make this
I,
long
I
journey.
would I would say so, yeah,
Yeah.
because we looked at the rides, we looked at what we wanted to do, and we
Mhm.
we based it
You
on
made a
that. So
plan.
we and like I said,
Mhm.
it wasn't we did everything, but a little bit more time probably would be a little bit better, because again, if we didn't end up queuing so much for Indiana Jones, we would have had more time. But
Right.
obviously these things happen. Rides break down. It's very common in theme parks, and
Mhm.
you never can account for that. So I think just
Mhm.
yeah, just maybe leave a little bit more time, because if you have a bit more, you can just take it easy, go around,
Mhm.
get some food. People watch as people do sometimes. So yes, I would say maybe do a bit of research and allow maybe a little bit of time for things like breaking down of things, or
Right.
anything
And
can happen.
spontaneity.
Exactly, exactly.
Right. All right. Well, that brings us to the end here. So you flew out on April 27th and you had a 1 p.m. flight that put you
Mhm.
back on Sunday evening back in the UK. Did everything go according to plan with your return travel?
Yeah, we had no problem. We opted for an Uber option from the hotel to the airport. Again,
Hmm.
because of the luggage, because if we travel directly, we'd have to get the monorail to the station, then change. I think it was like 3, 4 changes, which is a lot with the luggage,
Hmm.
and it was only about 15 to 20 pound each on a taxi back, because where we stayed in Tokyo, we traveled away from the airport, so we'd have to
Hmm.
go a bit of a longer way back to the airport. No, we ordered a taxi. We got there. We had to post back our Wi-Fi, because we had to return it before we went through the airport security,
Hmm.
and we did that. And yeah, we just, like I said, we wandered around the airport, had some food at Haneda Terminal 3. You don't have to have a boarding pass if somebody likes plane spotting, and they have a free observation deck upstairs. You don't
Hmm.
need a boarding pass. It's at the back of the food court. You can just
Hmm.
go and watch the planes without even having to fly from
Oh,
the
wow.
airport, which was
Alex would love
very
that.
surprising, because most airports it's past the security, so you can't
Right.
unless you travel. But yeah, that had a nice observation deck. You can see all the planes land and take off. Again, for people that like that sort of things, they can spend a bit
Hmm.
more time. And yeah, we had a very smooth flight back without delays. It was absolutely fine.
Hmm.
No problem at all. Again, it actually time flew by so quick. Again, watching the films, having some
Hmm.
food, and I think because we were so tired, we had a
Hmm.
little bit more sleep on the plane just to recover from all the
Yeah.
walking and stuff we have done. But no, I think in terms of the travel, it's been fine. We've had quite smooth travel with the aircraft, with the trains. We've not had touchwood.
Good.
We've not had any problems, which made it a little bit easier. But yeah, and like I said, traveling with British Airways, we were quite lucky. They didn't look how many bags we had, so that was fantastic. I didn't have to worry
Hmm.
about that one, so that was fine. All the shopping came back with us.
Very good. Very good. Well, this was an amazing adventure, and I know that people who are thinking about a trip to Tokyo will appreciate hearing all of the details from your trip. And I know that you probably have a lot of resources to share. So when you send me some photos, I'll ask that
Yes,
you also share any of the resources that you were using as you planned your trip that you found particularly
absolutely.
helpful, so that we can make sure that that the listeners have access to that. So.
No,
Thank you
absolutely.
so much for being here. I really appreciate the chance to talk to you. Have a wonderful rest of your night. Thank you so much for being here and for sharing your trip and all the magic and just sharing your time with me.
Thanks for having me, Virginia. Thanks a lot. And yeah, I would highly recommend trip to Japan to anybody who's thinking. Do not think, just book it. You will not regret it. It's absolutely amazing place to visit and so much to do. So yeah, thank you for having me.
Thank you again to Katie for joining me on the podcast. When I have guests who are from other parts of the world or even from the other side of the US, the time difference is always a challenge for scheduling, but Katie was so open and available, it made it so easy. I really enjoyed chatting with you, Katie, and please let me know if you ever come to New York. All right, I know this was a long episode, so thank you to all of you listeners for getting this far. I really appreciate you all so very much. Now it's time to say goodbye until next time, but as always, keep daydreaming about where you long to be.